Cenk, whether you call Tim Walz the happy warrior or the charming bulldog, by all accounts across the political spectrum, he has lightning in a bottle when it comes to being on TV.
These are weird people on the other side. They want to take books away. They want to be in your exam room. That's what it comes down to. And don't, get sugarcoating this. These are weird ideas. Listen to them speak. Listen to how they talk about things. Listen to how your previous guests were right. Like you said, they've told them that they shouldn't talk about race. They can't help it.
Democrats have embraced the moniker of tagging Republicans with weird as opposed to a threat to democracy, which wasn't registering that well with a lot of moderate and independent voters. But all you have to do to look up and see that the Republicans are weird is to watch Donald Trump talking about Hannibal Lecter or J.D. Vance talking about Mountain Dew. Well, clearly the weird moniker is getting under the skin of MAGA Republicans. And Walz has proven that he's not afraid to be on the offense and doesn't hold back his opinions of MAGA Republicans, which a lot of us on the left have seen as sort of a breath of fresh air and a burst of energy that has allowed the party to inspire Kamala Harris to do even better in this race. And again, here's another clip of Tim Walz.
Why do you think weird is a more effective attack line against Trump than what Democrats have been done previously, which is argue that he's an existential threat to democracy?
Yeah, and it's an observation on this, and being a school teacher, I see a lot of things. But my point on this is people kept talking about, look, Donald Trump is going to put women's lives at risk. That's 100% true. Donald Trump is potentially going to end constitutional liberties that we have, end voting. I do believe all those things are a real possibility, but it gives him way too much power. Listen to the guy. He's talking about Hannibal Lecter and shocking sharks and just whatever crazy thing pops into his mind. And I thought we just give him way too much credit. And I think one of the things is when you just ratchet down some of the the scariness or whatever and just name it what it is. I got to tell you, Jake, my observation on this is, have you ever seen the guy laugh? That seems very weird to me that an adult can go through 6.5 years of being in the public eye. If he has laughed, it's at someone, not with someone. That is weird behavior. And I don't think you call it anything else. It is simply what we're observing.
There's an articulation and a cadence and an energy to what he's saying that is also helpful. But again, let's go by the word weird and go by the numbers here. According to the Kamala HQ account, which is the official campaign website on X, the campaign has used the word there, weird, to describe Trump and Vance 14 times since July the 23rd, while the Democratic Won't Pack Down Super PAC released a political ad themed around calling conservatives weird on Monday. That has over 12 million views on X and the YouTube channel combined.
Hey, don't scroll away. Come back. Because before the video continues, we just want to urge you to lend your support to TYT. You power our honest reporting. You do it at tyt.com/team, and we love you for it.
Republicans have tried to hit back at Walz and the Harris campaign for using the term, including Rep. Matt Gaetz and Vivek Ramaswamy. Florida Rep. Matt Gaetz also shared a video next of Walz calling the Republican nominees weird with the caption, "The party of gender blockers and drag shows for kids is calling us weird." Okay, former Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy posted an X calling the argument from Democrats dumb and juvenile. And while the right cries and tries to turn it back on Democrats, Walz is not fazed. He says, they can label me whatever they want. If it means kids are not going hungry at school and women can make their own healthcare decisions. Well, this clearly seems like a smart move of attack, and including even some conservatives are acknowledging this. Matt Walsh tweeted last week, casting your opposition as cringe, lame, and weird is an effective strategy. It's visceral. It moves people. The Dems are evil, but not stupid. I hope Republicans have the nerve to fight like that. It is the only way. Fire with fire. It's going to get ugly. Right now, Cenk, I would say right now it's sort of ugly for the Republicans because I haven't seen a counter punch, despite Donald Trump being the ultimate counter puncher. I haven't seen him land a blow that has been effective in response.
Yeah, look, this guy's amazing. We've asked for a fighter on our side for as long as Young Turks has been around, 22 years. We've been looking for a fighter, and sometimes we'll get excited, oh, maybe it's Howard Dean. I remember Alan Grayson back in the day, right? Bernie Sanders. But Bernie Sanders was great, but he wasn't really a fighter. And so if Bernie Sanders was a fighter, I think he could have won. And this guy's got the policies of Bernie Sanders, passed them in Minnesota, has the same kind of populist feel. but he's less cranky, more likable, more rural, more Midwestern, and most importantly, more of a fighter. So when the Republicans try to punch him, he dodges and levels them, right? He's a football coach. He's like, you're not gonna tackle me, I'm gonna tackle you. And anyone who watches this show knows I've been dying for this. I've been waiting for this the entire time we've been doing this show. So watching him perform like this is just a dream. I think he's gonna annihilate JD Vance in the debates, and I think he's gonna Muhammad Ali them the rest of the campaign. Look, I'm getting to a point where I'm saying things that are too grand, and I'm worried. But having seen him in action, I would be super surprised if all of a sudden he turned around and became a lame Democrat who doesn't fight back for civility. On civility. It's about time someone punched him in the face. And
I would say, Cenk, it's not just about the single punches. I mean, there's a whole sort of strategy. There's a thought process that he has in terms of the overall argument. Here he is going after JD Vance on family values. Watch.
So let's say you're on a debate stage with, say, JD Vance, and he accuses you of being a big government liberal who's attacking our families, making life worse for our families, doesn't share our values, doesn't care about families like yours. What do you say to him?
Yeah, first of all, it was up to him. I wouldn't have a family because of IVF and the things that we need to do reproductive. My kids were born through that that way. And also I make sure that I'm the guys and our folks are investing in prenatal care. We're the ones that are there for universal pre-K. We're the ones that are providing school meals at this. I'm not gonna back down one bit on this whole family values thing and it's us. That construct that he's putting out there is absolutely untrue. We're making it more affordable to have children by having paid family and medical leave so that you can go home when your kids are sick and take care of them. Or if you're a dad, I don't have to go right back to work 5 days later after my wife had a C-section because our insurance wouldn't pay for it. We're boosting those things up. There's nothing pro-family other than having women be incubators for their vision of this. Once again, it's weird. I don't want JD Vance talking about my family. I certainly don't want him talking about my daughter or my wife. It's none of his damn business. Where is JD Vance's pro-family? He's forcing people to not be able to have medical care if they have a bad pregnancy or something. We need to stand in front of that. And again, you don't need me to give a sermon, but try and live one. Try and be decent. Try and help your neighbors. Try and invest in those kids.
The traditional role of a running mate is to be the attack dog who essentially delivers the punches at the top of the other side of the ticket. And a little bit of reporting here, the Harris campaign insiders are now saying that one of the clips that essentially went viral early on about 2 weeks ago on MSNBC was also one of the clips that caught Kamala Harris's attention as, oh, not only is this guy likable, but he can frame this and deliver this message in a very effective way. And this was the clip where you have Tim Walz talking about JD Vance and JD Vance's claims that Democrats are forgetting about small town America. Watch.
What I know is that people like JD Vance know nothing about small town America. Look, I grew up in a town of 400 people, 24 kids in my graduating class, 12 were cousins. The things that make small towns work are good public schools. Things that work about being good to your neighbors and helping out. And the golden rule of a small town, mind your own damn business. He wants to be in our exam rooms. They want to come and try and tell us they want to privatize our public schools. You think you're going to find a private school in a town of 400? These are absolute policies. His robber baron mentality as a venture capitalist gutted middle America. My dad dies when my little brother's young. We're teenagers. We get Social Security survivor benefits. I'm all for pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. We didn't have any boots. Social Security was the boots, and we pulled ourselves up, and we paid that back. And I think JD Vance gets none of that. You know, it's the aw shucks, I'm from here or whatever. So my hillbilly cousins did not go to Yale, but I'll tell you what they did. They contributed to our community, and they're proud of it.
What a contrast. And Cenk, I'd say even his ability to think on his feet and talk on his feet, even when he doesn't know what's coming, is really impressive.
There's another word for that. It's called smart. It's a pleasure to see. And to your main point, David, he's strategic. He knows how to frame things in a way that appeals to the average guy. As I was watching those clips, I was thinking, body blow, uppercut. Okay, this guy's killing him. That family values clip, that was perfect, picture perfect. And then a Deadpool came to mind, and I started singing as I was watching the clips. Bye, bye, bye. There you go, Trump and Vance. Off you go. off you go. This guy's gonna crush you guys. So I know I'm not being over exuberant. Here, now I'm gonna read a Trump statement that I was gonna read to you later in the show in a different story, but I'm gonna read it now. He just wrote this on Truth Social because I want you to now compare Tim Walz, you just saw with your own eyes, speaking like a real American, like a normal guy, and connecting with people about their families, small towns, etc. Right? Now I'm gonna read you Trump's statement and you tell me who's a giant weirdo who has no chance of winning this race. Okay, what are the chances that crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of the US, whose presidency was unconstitutionally stolen from him by Kamala, Barack Hussein Obama, crazy Nancy Pelosi, shifty Adam Schiff, crying Chuck Schumer, and others on the lunatic left, crashes the Democratic National Convention and tries to take back the nomination, beginning with challenging me to another debate? He feels that he made a historically tragic mistake by handing over the US presidency, a coup to the people in the world he most hates, and he wants it back now. What on God's green earth are you talking about? Are you trying to come up with a conspiracy theory that Joe Biden is going to come back and try to take it from Kamala Harris and Tim Walz? What kind of a lunatic says things like that? That is so far detached from reality. Look, MAGA, I don't know what world you live in and what part of the multiverse you're in, but for the rest of us, especially independents, what's he talking about? This guy's totally deranged. And why capitalize Hussein? So we're going back to the Muslim stuff. Why misspell her name? Kamala Harris? Are you like trying some weirdo racial attack? Why do you have to further racialize her name? And by the way, it's not a misspelling. He's now done it a bunch of times. Or maybe it started as a misspelling, but he went kofefe with it and was like, oh yeah, I meant it, yeah. But it's clearly some weirdo racial thing. I don't know what else it could be. So, look, I said from day one that Biden was too old and Trump was too crazy. I'm right about both. And so that level of crazy ain't gonna beat a team like Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. So I now have them as not a little favorites, significant favorites to win this race. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.